Hello and welcome to Project Home DIY. My name is Christine Gloat, the owner, founder, and curator of Project Home and Your Boxes. Thanks for joining us this November of 2023. Cannot believe it. It's already here and we're bringing you another simple project. So we've really been focusing on 2023, bringing you simplistic decor. So this adds to it. This tray is kind of a play off of one of our herringbone trays from the past that was a super big hit. And we get to do something new with the Styrofoam balls and the chiffon ribbon. So I'm super excited to see all of it come together. So with that being said, I'm going to very first stain the outside of my tray, and then these pieces inside I'm going to paint. And while that stain is setting, I'll be painting these, and then while those are all drying, we'll work on the chiffon ribbons and then we'll put it all together. So come on around and let's get set up. Make sure that if you're going to stain, you have some sort of paper or something down on the table that will help keep your table nice and clean and just make for easy cleanup. I also definitely recommend wearing gloves. So make sure you have some sort of gloves on your hands to keep clean. So here I'm going to lay out some paper and we'll get to staining. So this time I'm going to use a wood stain. Let's see, let me grab the can. It's from Minwax and the finish is Jacobine. So just a different color than what we've used before to give you a bit of an idea. So let's get started with that. When I stain, I like to have just of course I don't have it anywhere near, a rag around. So let me get that. Okay, got a stain rag, just a old washcloth of some sort. Works just fine. And for the stain, make sure that if it's a brand new can that you mix it up really well. So I'm just shaking this and then I'll open it up. And for staining, it's super easy to do. Just wipe it on. That's all you have to do. So wipe it on evenly. So I'll just cover a big area. Stain will not stain over glue. So if there's glue on your wood, it'll turn transparent right there. So just keep that in mind. If you see places that isn't taking stain, it's because there's glue. So you'll have to sand that before and get that out of there. So just wipe it. Don't let there be any puddles or anything. Use a drier part of the rag, wipe over, and just keep going. All right, all stained. And I'm going to set this, just for the sake of time, in front of a small heater here on the floor. And that heater will kind of dry the stain. Even though it's an oil-based stain, it'll still set it up a little bit faster as if I didn't have it setting in there. So you'll hear a little bit of a hum. That's just the heater. Okay, stain, easy to clean up. Just make sure that you put the lid good on there. Throw your stain rags away. Don't save them. Don't put them in a mason jar. They can become combustible, flammable. They'll start fire on their own. So don't save them. Throw them away. Stain stinks. Do it in a ventilated space. Getting out more paper here. If you want, you can save old newspapers, use old newspapers. This is actually newsprint before it's printed on. So that's how I do that. But with the wood pieces, let's see, in the hexagon, sorry about the noise. We just poured concrete yesterday and my husband's cutting it right now. So with the hexagonal tray, there's 4 pieces of each hexagon shape. So I'm going to do 4 different colors. Okay, so I'm just going to start. I'm going to do a gray to a tan or gray to cream kind of color variation. So just neutral, kind of keep it plain, simple. My coloring is going to come in with the chiffon ribbon. So I kind of have a mix of paints set out here in a variety of colors and shades, just so I can kind of work my way towards a neutral, all the neutral colors. Yep, I'm going to go that route. So my first set, I'm just going to paint the gray and just quickly paint it on. You don't have to worry too much about ends and sides. If you want, just like our previous hexagon tray, you can totally make these double-sided. I'm just going to paint one side for right now. But if you make them double-sided, you can paint 2 different colors and kind of swap them out between seasons and times. I like to use these wood boxes to set my pieces up on sometimes. So just go ahead and paint the colors or stain that you choose. And once those are dry or drying, we'll do the chiffon balls. Okay, my pieces are drying. I'm going to work on the chiffon ribbon balls while those are drying. These, we're just going to take and wrap the ribbon around the balls. Super easy, but they look so good. So take your hot glue. Make sure you have that plugged in. Take your hot glue, put just a tiny bit. Okay, I want to show you while you're making this, I'm going to take this white one apart and you're going to see I'm pulling out pins, but I've learned the more I'm doing these, use pins to pin the chiffon ribbon as you go along. If you pin it in place, it'll stop it from slipping, and it also will keep the gathered look, which makes it look much better. So we're basically wanting this to look like a ball of fabric. So just some different textured type of ball decor rather than wood or the typical bamboo or jute string. We want to have something different. So the way you're going to start this, and I suggest for these blue and yellow ones, paint the styrofoam ball a shade of the ribbon color. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Like you could use this marigold sort of color for the mustard color ribbon. Obviously the white one's already white, so that works well. This one I got covered pretty well enough that I don't need it, but it would make it a lot easier. So first, just glue dot, put a hot glue dot and glue down your chiffon, and then you're going to start wrapping it around. You're going to notice it's going to start slipping, and once it starts slipping, that's when you'll use a pin. And just to keep it in place, I'm going to stick a pin in and go. So just keep wrapping it around, and it does not need to be fully straight and flat. The better it looks gathered, like the chiffon ribbon in a gathered look, the better it looks. So just kind of wing it and wrap it around. And then I'll place this in. Okay, now we can see there's a few gaps here. So just take a pin and kind of pull that chiffon, and then you can just pin it where it covers. Covered, pin it so it stays. These pins are barely noticeable, they're fine. If you don't like them, you could cover up just a tad bit with another overlap of a corner. But just pull the fabric one direction and cover it up, because then it still creates the nice gathered look of a ball of fabric like we're wanting. There's how you're going to complete the balls. There is enough fabric to do one big, one white, small. There is not enough chiffon ribbon to do two of the same color in the large ones. This, you can buy the chiffon ribbon from the hobby stores if you want to add different colors or do different colors or textures. Use any kind of ribbon, honestly. So that is how you complete those. Okay, finished with the ribbon balls. They're supposed to just look like balls of fabric. So kind of the messier they are, the better, just to get the effect and the texture in there. You can add in some like wooden balls or yarn balls that you have, anything else extra, you can also add in. So my pieces are dry. I'm gonna take just the sanding block that came in your starter kit, give them a once over sand, just over the top really quickly. Okay, all the pieces are sanded. Before I put them in, I'm going to assemble the handles on the tray. Here's our stain tray. So taking just pick two opposite sides. There was a blemish on one of my pieces of wood, so I will put the handle right there. And this should be pretty easy. Take the metal handle, place the wood strapping over it, and then just kind of center that. I'm centering it directly off of these leg pieces or little ledges. So set it there, and the top of the metal piece will just go with the top of the tray or slightly below it, but you can just eyeball and make sure that those are even in the same place. Take the screwdriver, or if you have a drill, use a drill. Okay, there's one side. The other side's going to be a little bit more challenging because now I have this handle sitting there. But I'm going to take and just put in one metal piece because I kind of know where it needs to go based on the other side. You stick your head of the screw in there, in the wood. It should hold it for a second while you get your screwdriver. Oops, and then my shaky hands today. Okay, just double checking I have it in the right place. But this way I don't have to hold so much in my hands and balance so much. You do just one at a time. Okay, last one. If you want to pre-drill holes, you can pre-drill. That would make it easier for you. If you don't have a drill, then don't pre-drill, but there's the handles on. Okay, now I'm hoping when I picked my pieces to paint, I should have probably set them or had them in the tray and then picked them from each of the three areas because they may go the wrong direction, but I'm not sure. So we will see how it goes. I do want to do another little quick sand on just the edges of the wood, because I really like how when each piece gets put in there, the edge of the wood is going to be what shows from piece to piece to piece. So if that makes sense, we'll just do a quick sand on those edges. When you place these in, you're going to place them at every other space. Okay, and then my third one's going to go here. Okay, I hope that's right. We'll see. When we get further along, we'll see. What order did I decide to go? I think that. Okay, so now the little light brown ones. Obviously, that can be changed. You can change the order of your pieces, and if you hate them completely, flip them over, paint them a different color. Okay, so there's that. And last piece, I keep playing how they set in there and what colors in order, but I think that looks great. Ta-da! And then we can just take the balls and kind of set them in there, around there like that. And you can add any other pieces and parts to it that you have around, some floral, you know, a little trinket like that, or these are from our winter kit. Oops. These are from our holiday quarterly box. So you can set little things in there like that to finish it off. Or you can use it as a functional piece of your decor, using it for a serving tray or a remote tray or whatever you decide. But there you go with November's project. Thank you for joining me, and can't wait to see you in December when we have so many little wonderful things for a nice shelf sitter or mantelpiece. Stay warm and let's get creative with Project Home, and make sure that you join our VIP group and add your creations in the folders for each month so we can all see how you decided to decorate and finish your tiered tray decor. Or not tiered tray, excuse me, hexagon tray decor. So can't wait to see you next month, and stay warm. See you next time.